Now, the 23rd installment of the Trade and Investment Convention, or TIC 2023, hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, TTMA, is here. It runs from today, July 20th, until Saturday, July 22nd. And so joining me this morning, just to remind us about some of the things we can expect and about a particular exhibitor and sponsor, are the Chief Executive Officer of TTMA, Dr. Mahindra Ramdeen, and the Chief Executive Officer of TSTT, Ms. Lisa Agard. Good morning.
Good morning, Kimberly.
Good morning.
Morning.
I know you always tell me to call you Ramesh. I'm getting accustomed to it as you come here more often, so welcome and good morning again.
I will call him Dr. Ramdeen, if you don't mind. I'm not so privileged.
A good place to start. But I want us to go back before we go forward, and I'm coming to you first. Tell us about the preparation to get this thing off the ground.
TIC takes a year in planning. We already start planning for 2024, so the preparation has started long ago. So now we have people dedicated to certain aspects of TIC, and they're already working towards readying themselves for a rollout for 2024. So in terms of the preparation, we already started that process. We have already conceptualized what we want the theme to be for next year, who we want to be on board with us, the kind of things that we want to do. But there are some limitations that we are faced with. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes we have planned an event, COVID come, you have to downscale, a number of different things. So we have plan A, plan B, plan C in place.
Yeah, of course. And then it's the 23rd installment, so you guys have been around for a long time. But what new elements can we see at this year's convention?
Well, there are a number of different things that we would like to consider as new. You know, we have the park and ride. We're really pushing the park and ride concept because a lot of people are critical of the parking at the center of excellence. So we're trying the park and ride. You know, we tried it before, but this time we have 3 different destinations: the Constantine Park, the MDCM car park frontage area, as well as the Namdefco area. We also have a lot of physical people coming to the show from outside of Trinidad, you know, and one of the major players that we have coming, we have a significant amount of buyers, but I want to place emphasis on Royal Caribbean, the cruise line, the cruise ship, who are hiring a lot of people in Trinidad. You know, they very much have an interest. They come into the Caribbean, I think they told me 7 times between July this year and November next year. And each time they dock in Trinidad and Tobago, they're looking to replenish their goods and their items. So they are meeting with players. They're meeting with the Angosturas, the Vemco, the Blue Waters, you name it, as well as the smaller players. Once you can provide items on a consistent and reliable basis, they're willing to meet with you, to have conversations with you. And I don't want to reveal what has taken place, but I could tell you confidently that we have already secured over $100,000 US in business by engagement in some of the B2B that we had, because, you know, it started already.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice. Ms. Agard, I'm coming to you because I wanted to get your thoughts from a telecommunications standpoint, some of the benefits you see in partnering with TIC.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, and good morning to your viewers. It's an obvious thing for us to do. We've partnered with the TTMA over many years, supporting this convention. And why do we do it? A lot of our customers are SME customers, which are small and medium enterprises. In fact, we have over 4,050 enterprise customers, and of that number, about 3,800 are SMEs, many of whom will be represented at this year's conference. And we seek to do a number of things in terms of supporting their innovative efforts. We provide robust broadband connectivity for them, and we ourselves continue to innovate in terms of the products and services that we offer to those businesses to enable them to be more efficient, for them to bring new products and services to the market. And so we are happy once again to partner with Dr. Ramdeen and his team to support TIC, because when we support enterprises in Trinidad and Tobago, we support economic development, and we see our role in this ecosystem of digitalization as a critical one.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the digital aspect of it, because I know for this year the TIC is also focusing on technology and innovation. And so how do you see that, you know, fitting in with the mandates of TSTT?
Sure. So our business, the telecommunications business, has transformed enormously in the last 5 years. we have seen significant declines in what we call traditional forms of revenue, which is switch voice revenue, as our networks become more data-centric. And so with the significant decline in switch voice revenue, and I'm talking really huge numbers here. So you have mobile switch voice calling declining from 1.5 billion in 2017 down to 958 million. On the fixed side, you're seeing declines of 41%. And on the international and incoming traffic, you're seeing declines of 81% and 83% respectively. So what we have had to do is to transform our business to meet the new technological challenges that are there in the marketplace. So part of our strategic planning this year, we had a broad theme running through our plan, which is from telco to techco. So we are pivoting towards new products and services in the digital space, particularly utilizing the very significant investment we've already made in infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. And in particular, I mentioned our data center, which is a TIA 942B Tier 3 data center, the only one of its kind in the Caribbean and Latin America. Yeah. So what we are doing is pivoting towards new products and new services in the digital space, utilizing the data center. So infrastructure as a service, software as a service, disaster recovery as a service, which is really critical in this time with cyber attacks. You have to preserve and secure your data so that you can recover it in the event of a disaster.
And we have seen some sort of things happen because we had some big companies, supermarkets, who were under siege, right? Yes. And they were at risk of losing their data. So I understand the importance of that as well. I want to come back to Ramesh because you mentioned that we already started those B2B meetings. Yes. For example, we already had that $100,000 investment. With the continuation of those meetings, or what you've been seeing for the week, how can that benefit the country as a whole?
Well, the more business take place, the more you have opportunities for productivity, for growth. So if people get more orders and you have to produce more, it means that you have to employ more. It means that companies can earn their own foreign exchange. It helps in the diversification process of Trinidad and Tobago, moving away from the reliance of oil and gas. So it stimulates economic activity in Trinidad and Tobago, and anything that stimulates economic activity allows for the multiplier effect of employing more people, earning your own foreign exchange, and creating economic activity that is redound to the well-being of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. One of the things Ms. Agard mentioned. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. And I wanted to underscore that point that Dr. Ramdeen made and to link it back to broadband infrastructure and how critical that is for any business in Trinidad and Tobago. And if you'll permit me to give you a data point. So McKinsey did a study in 2021 in the United States, right? Which showed that there's a strong correlation between broadband availability and jobs and GDP growth in the United States. So a 10% increase in broadband access in 2014 would have resulted in more than 875,000 additional U.S. jobs and 186 billion more in economic output in 2019. So that's an average of 175,000 jobs and 37.2 billion in output per year.
Yeah.
That McKinsey study is also supported by other econometric studies done by the World Bank. So we see that there's a direct correlation between broadband rollout, broadband infrastructure development, and economic output and growth and jobs.
So then, Ms. Agard, you mentioned that you have a focus on small and medium enterprises, right? These small and medium enterprises may not be able to, for example, maybe purchase that sort of cloud solution. And so how is TSTT going to help them, especially with their data protection?
Sure. So in fact, one of the services that we offer in the data center is something called infrastructure as a service. So that is basically cloud computing. So instead of a small and medium enterprise having to replicate expensive ICT infrastructure, they can purchase that capability from our data center. So that is one way cloud services that we offer to customers help them to be more efficient and more cost-effective in terms of the products and services that they offer to customers.
Yeah.
So it's one of a number of services that we offer at our data center. Yes. And of course, with disaster recovery and backup as a service at the data center as well, you can be assured that your data will always be protected. And in the event there is any kind of disaster, whether it's natural or whether it's as a consequence of a cyber incursion, you can recover your data. Since we built that data center 10 years ago, we've had not 1 minute of downtime at the data center.
And I think that's a win. I think that's
Yes.
a win. Ramesh, I'm coming back to you. Just tell us quickly, give us an overview of what we can expect over the next few days.
But before I do that, I should mention that TSCT also had a webinar, part of our education series on...
They were part of the webinar,
yes.
yeah.
And
yeah.
a major part, and actually it's was one of the more oversubscribed session. We had over 100 persons participating in that webinar about cybersecurity and this kind of thing. So
Nice.
I just want to put a plug for that.
Of course.
So what you can expect over the next couple of days, today and tomorrow is B2B basically. We primarily will have business activity taking meetings, engagements, networking on the trade floor. We expect a triple traffic over these 2 days to about 2,500 per day. Consumer day, though, we are expecting a large turnout.
That's on the Saturday?
Yeah, we have close to 6,000 people registered to come in on Saturday, not at one time, during the course of the period of the day. What we have going on as well, and I know you have Encash is coming, and you're going to have a conversation with them. But they are launching their services in Trinidad and Tobago, and they're partnering with the SMEs. They have reached out to most of the SMEs, and as I mentioned before, about 60% of the shows would be SMEs, right? And they are partnering with them because they're allowed to sell their products. And they're giving a lot of giveaways. Encash people are giving giveaways, and so you could come on and cash in these things with the SME booth. So it's to stimulate economic activity. Apart from Encash, and a number of people are doing giveaways. We have phones, we have tablets, we have a number of different things, appliances, to encourage people to get something from the process. I know you mentioned earlier there's still chance for registration, but registration is closed.
Even for people wanting to attend Consumer Day?
You can come,
right?
But there's a small administrative fee, so you had to be pre-registered.
Yes.
But you can come still because we outsource that. We don't have the time to engage the process at the front door. So we have outsourced that to a group of people.
So just to confirm, if you didn't register before, if you have to come down on Saturday, a small fee applies.
A $50 application fee, and children under 12 will be free.
Will be free. Nice. I'm coming back to you, Ms. Agard, because I've been to TIC conferences before, and it's such an exciting time. What can we expect at the TSCT booth?
So we want to showcase some of our new innovative products and services because, of course, we, as a business, we also have to engage in innovation ourselves. And so you will see on display some new things. We have had an offering called eTender platform for quite a few years now. And of course, it's timely given the recent promulgation of the procurement legislation.
Yes.
And there is, while it's not a mandatory requirement under the Act, it's strongly recommended that tendering takes place electronically as opposed to physically.
Right.
We're very proud of that platform. It is robust, reliable, resilient, and it creates a digital footprint so that there's no possibility of anybody tampering with tenders, changing tenders. You know exactly who has been in the platform, and all aspects of the journey creates this digital footprint, and so therefore the ultimate transparency in the tendering process can take place. So we're going to be showcasing that. We also have, we were about to launch our own mobile wallet solution, Paper, and so we will be talking a little bit about that as well. Yes. And then we also will be showcasing our wonderful Idea Hub, which is this collaborative tool that you can do everything on, from video conferencing, meetings, your Zoom meetings, your emails. You can work collaboratively with people on the other side of the world.
Yes.
It is an amazing tool. I use it every day, and I cannot imagine how I survived without it.
So, Ms. Agard, what I will say is that people need to come down to the the
Yes.
TIC this weekend,
Yes.
they also need to check out the TSTT booths and all the other booths, because I could imagine the excitement that's going to be happening over the next few days.
Yes.
Ms. Agard, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you.
morning. Ramesh, I admit, after Ms. Agard called you doctor, I was like, ooh, I wonder, but I'll keep calling you Ramesh because you're a friend here by now. Let me thank you so much. All the best with TIC over the next few days, and I'm going to see you down there someday.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Have a good one. And that was Dr. Mahindra Ramdeen, or as we know him here on the morning show, Ramesh, CEO of TTMA, and of course, Ms. Lisa Agard, CEO of TSTT, just telling us some of the things we can expect because the TIC, the Trade and Investment Convention, is on. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.
When you feel the sun on your face,